Thanks, Jared. Yeah, as he alluded to, I'm Kelly with Touchwood Flooring. Please follow us on, your social media or our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, go ahead to the next slide. A little bit about me. So as Jared mentioned, my little family here, Paige, my wife, our new baby, Amelia, and then our fur babies. We got Louie the Golden and Callie. Go ahead. A little bit about us, yes. We're hardwood flooring specialists. We don't dive into any other types of flooring. We stick to what we know, and we specialize in what we know. We supply, we install, we refinish. We have really high-end products, and the workmanship that we have with our crews caters well to the high-end products that we provide. Today I want to talk about two things specifically. I want to get into hardwood floor refinishing. A little bit about us. We work with the proper tools. You're not going to find the tools that we use and be able to rent them at a Home Depot and replicate what we can do. So as you can see, we have a big drum sander. That thing weighs 200 pounds. It's the first step in sanding. It's gonna strip off all the old coatings, get down to bare wood, and bring the floor to the next step where we get the polisher or the power drive. That's gonna blend all the sanding marks, make sure that it's clean and ready to be stained or coated. All of our machines are attached to a dust containment system, so it helps minimize the amount of dust that you're gonna get in a home during a renovation process. And that's a big factor to a lot of clients. They don't want a huge cleanup after a job's done. They don't want to be, chasing dust out of their cabinets and out of their, cupboards and everything for the next year. So we can maintain about 90% of the dust that we kick off our machines. It's a heavy setup, so it's a big job. So yeah, a couple projects that we've done. This one I really wanted to show because it shows what we can do and how much the floors need love when we walk into them. With this one, it's a really good example because yeah, that floor is beat up really bad, but also they changed the cabinets in the house. So there was a different footprint. So we had to go in there, rip out some old wood, put in some new stuff so we can patch it. But the finished product at the end of the day it looks like there was no patch done. It's just, yeah, it's perfect. Our guys are excellent at what they do. Here's another picture, a bit of a shout out to Ben with Benjamin Matthew Flooring. Just a beautiful look at what we can do with refinishing floors. It's timeless. Whether you have a feel for a contemporary look in your home, a traditional look, we can make it whatever you want. Some dated colors, some new colors. We have a huge selection of whatever stain that you want to put on your floor. Another thing I wanted to talk about transitioning off of refinishing is one of the suppliers that we work with. They're out of the Netherlands. It's Hakwood. The product is oak and ash sourced from the forests around Europe and then manufactured, finished in the Netherlands, just outside of Amsterdam, and then sent to us here. We're actually the only retailers in all of Alberta that can carry this stuff and supply it. It's a beautiful product. It caters to the high-end market. Yeah, there's nothing really like it out there. It's beautiful product from 5-inch wide all the way up to 11-inch wide, and all the planks are coming in 7 and 8 foot lengths. So, as I mentioned, they're out of Amsterdam. This summer, my wife and I went on our honeymoon, and we took a little bit of a detour. Went just outside of Amsterdam to Hakwood's facility and kind of got to go through all of the production lines here. It's very bespoke, this company. Everything is custom made and hands-on. It's not assembly line stuff. So what you see here on the top is a gentleman finishing up some of the finished boards. They're just going through the coating process, and he's now taking them off the racks because they've been dried and cured. The picture below that is an engineered flooring press. So they layer multiple pieces of birch plywood, which is extremely stable. They layer it together, and that's what creates a very good, stable floor, especially in our climates. Our climates here in Edmonton, it's impossible to deal with some materials, as you know, in the building industry. The swings from hot to cold and high humidity to low humidity throughout the year, it's really hard on some materials. So making sure you have a very strong, stable product is essential to the longevity of that stuff. And then here is just a great picture to show the lengths that they use in their wood and just the beautiful grain patterns that it has. Like I said, everything's hands-on. So this picture is also them going through by hand the grading process. So, you know, you can get stuff that has a huge amount of knots throughout the boards, lots of character, lots of beauty to it, to all the way up to what we would call a rift and quartered, which is just a select cut from the wood, very clean lines, lots of consistency. Good. As you can see, Hakwood's fit for royalty. The picture on the right there is none other than the late Queen Elizabeth standing on a Hakwood floor somewhere in Europe. But the other pictures here are just to highlight the beauty of the floors and the types of homes that we're putting it in. A lot of the time we're working with really high-end clients that they want something that stands apart from the rest of the market. They want something when they're hosting family or friends or whatever into their house, they're getting recognized. And they want to be able to show off a product that, hey, I'm not going to see this in my neighbor's house. I'm not going to see this across the city. It's almost one of one. On an engineered floor, it needs to have a 3 millimeter or more wear layer. And easy way to find that out is popping up a heat register and seeing what kind of veneers on it. Anything, yeah, any solid wood or anything with a wear layer of 3 millimeters or higher. So you're going to see the 3 mil, 4 mil, and 6 mil. We can refinish most of those. You try and qualify every client for sure, and you know, kind of see what they're looking for. Try and feel out what their budget is going to be. They have a couple different options if you want a little bit less of an expensive product, but at the end of the day, it is catering to a specific set of people. And you need to know who you're working with at the end of the day. If we're refinishing anything under 200 square feet, we'll do it. There's going to be a minimum charge to that. But we're generally doing stuff 500 square feet and up. And especially for installs, like we don't like to go in and do repairs or patchwork, especially if it's work that we didn't initially touch. Because what ends up happening is you're the last person to touch it. And if there's any mistakes with that going forward, it's now your responsibility. So we'll repair our own work, but not other people's. Yeah, no, we have a wide range of products. And a lot of the manufacturers that we do work with, they offer vinyl, laminate, and hardwood floors. So we can cater to anyone. So vinyl kind of has primarily been the go-to for the past 5 to 7 years. Laminate has actually come a long way. So there's a lot of new laminates coming out that are really water resistant. They're a lot more hardy than a vinyl plank is. Vinyl's very flimsy, so the lock mechanisms will break frequently, whereas this laminate is a lot better now. So I would definitely think about putting in some laminate floors into rental properties. Well, vinyl and laminate, that's about it. We're not doing any tile or carpet. We're sticking to plank floors.